So we are your organizers. We've got Kyle over there, Billy. I'm Nicole. This is John, Caitlin, and Tyler. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Again, as I said earlier, you can download our app, check in, give any of the presenters feedback. Is Adrian here? Adrian, are you here?
I think so.
Oh, no, they're ready? Okay. I'm going to have our expert panelists introduce themselves.
Good morning. My name is Joel English, and I'm the stand-in for Adrian. I don't look near as good, but I'm a business coach at the Kansas City, Kansas Community College, and it'll be my pleasure to help out this morning. Looking forward to it.
Morning, everybody. My name is Joseph Thomas. Everybody call me Joey. I'm the owner of 18OV Barber Salon, founder of the No Joey Foundation, alumni of Scale Up KC, and just happy to be here this morning. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. So if you've never been to 1 Million Cups, we have 2 presenters every week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. The first person presents. We have our panelists ask questions first, and then you can ask questions. Then our second panelist will start. If you have any questions, can you raise your hand if you're a caffeinator? All right, so all these people that have their hands raised, if you have any questions, you can ask them or you can ask us. And without further ado, we're going to introduce Eleanor with Exhale KC.
Thanks, Nicole. So good morning. My name is Dr. Eleanor Lisbon, and I'm the owner of Exhale KC. So we know we have some caffeinators in the room, but I also want to make sure that everybody's awake. So we're going to do a really, really fun call and response, okay? I'm going to say, if you don't move, you won't move. And then you're going to say, if you don't move, you won't move. You ready? All right, I'm going to go first. If you don't move, you won't move. If you don't move, you won't move. Great. So that's kind of one of our mantras at Exhale KC. We are a physician-led wellness team whose primary objective is to promote wellness through movement. I have 6 personal trainers who work for me, and we offer low-impact and high-impact movement classes in a group setting or personal training. We started in January of 2015, and in September of 2017, we moved into PlexPod Westport Commons. As you may know, doctors also like to paint a picture, illustrate the patient profile, and really let you know how they make a difference in their patients' lives. Well, I'm going to do something very similar and talk about our clients. The names have been changed, so they're real stories. The pictures are real people, but they're just not this is not Daniel, and I have all of their permission. So first, let's talk about Daniel. Daniel is a 70-year-old type 2 diabetic who has numbness and tingling in his hands and feet, and before he started doing Tai Chi with Master Chin, his balance was fair. In October of 2017, he started doing Tai Chi twice a week for an hour, and since then, his balance is better, so he's gonna have fewer falls when he's 80. He has to memorize the 18 forms that Master Chin has him remember, so his memory is better, and probably some element of Alzheimer's prevention. He has cardiovascular wellness because, as you may know, diabetics are at increased risk for heart disease, okay? So he actually practices cardiovascular wellness twice a week. And then he's retired, so he gets out with his community, he's not socially isolated, and that's a natural antidepressant for Daniel. Let's move on to Emily. Emily is a 35-year-old female who's never done yoga. She's a physician at a local hospital. She works all the time, she's divorced, and she doesn't have any kids. So yoga not only has increased her flexibility, but she has mindfulness. When she comes to yoga, the windshield wiper of stress is gone for that day. She also, over a period of time, if she continues her yoga, won't be one of those physicians who gets burned out early in their career. And then finally, it's a natural antidepressant and anti-anxiety agent. Her natural endorphins get up when she does yoga. Let's move on to Alex. Alex is a 40-year-old entrepreneur who started his own IT business about 2 years ago. He sits all day. He used to run track in high school, but he doesn't have time to work out consistently anymore. So in January of this year, he started working out with Corey, one of our trainers. He works out once a week with Corey, and then twice a week on his own. He has increased stamina, he feels better, his mind is a little clearer, and that's just since January. We know that Alex has the antidote for the sitting is the new smoking, because he gets up and he moves and he feels better. When I'm not at Exhale KC, I'm a global medic for early and late phase hematology and oncology trials for IQVIA, formerly Quintiles. In that role, I have to conform to the rules of vigorous scientific method, objective data review, and we have to do that in order to really give great results for our clients. When I'm at Exhale, I take off that scientific hat and I can tap into my intuition, my imagination, and really come up with some creative programming for our clients. So what's our future like? First, I've made a conscious decision to be in business for profit and not a nonprofit. So our business model actually has some great potential for growth. When we moved into PlexPod Westport Commons, our model kind of changed a little bit and shifted to entrepreneurial self-care. So we want to be a contributor to this ecosystem of entrepreneurship in Kansas City and really promote health and entrepreneurs. Second, we have the potential to collaborate with some local vendors and come up with virtual reality for yoga and Tai Chi, which really will allow us to scale. And we're very excited about that. So, what can you do to help us achieve our mission? First, follow us on our social media channels. Let us know what works well and what opportunities we have for growth. Second, make a commitment to yourself today as an entrepreneur. What are you going to do for self-care? Are you going to go for an extra run? Are you going to, go to the mix and get a salad? What are you going to do to commit to self-care? And then finally, if you're in PlexPod Westport Commons, drop by and see us. In the month of March, if you mention 1 million cups, you'll get a free class. So remember, if you don't move, you won't move. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we're going to turn it over to our experts.
You want to go first, or you want me to go? Oh, okay. Hello, Eleanor.
Hello.
That was quite exciting in a very short period of time.
We're excited, 6 minutes.
Love it. You've got a lot of things going on, and the first thing that comes to my mind, because you are for profit, obviously you're wanting to do this to make a profit. What are your revenue flow plans? What things are you charging for, first of all?
So we've kept our costs really low, and for the first 2 years, we have not made a profit. Our business model has shifted a little bit moving into PlexPod. When we were in downtown Mission, we were in a saturated environment. There were 2 wellness facilities on each block on Johnson Drive. Our costs are between $15 to $20 per class. People can drop in, there's no membership fee. So we want to make it accessible, especially for people who've never done Tai Chi, they've never done yoga. We really want to make it comfortable, almost like you welcome somebody into your home.
Okay, so your revenue stream at this point then is a charge per exercise, per class, whatever it is that
And then we do have a monthly membership fee that's unlimited for $135. If you want to come to all the classes, we have 10 hours of programming per week.
Okay, and right now you're located where?
PlexPod Westport Commons, 300 East 39th Street,
Okay.
LL2B.
Yeah, when I'm trying to take notes, I can only hear and write so much at the same time. I'm a little bit limited, sorry. The other question that I had for you, do you have a market of who you're trying to reach? It seems your 3 examples you gave were pretty broad. Actually, a 70-year-old stage 2 diabetes, and what was the other? There was a 35-year-old young doctor and workaholic type of folk, which some here can probably identify with. I didn't get the age of the 3rd young man though.
40.
40. Okay, I thought I heard 42, but I did hear the 40, so I wasn't too far off. So that's quite a range. How, who are you trying to reach, and how do you plan to reach them?
So, very good question. One of the things that I learned in my Kaufman Fast Track program was we get the IBIS report. So there's some really interesting industry trends, and the biggest one is baby boomers, okay? So our Tai Chi, our low impact, we are really going to the blue ocean with some of our low impact innovative programming. Since we moved into PlexPod, though, we also see entrepreneurs who sit all day. And there's a lot of data, as you all may know, about the sitting is the new smoking. There's increased cardiovascular risk just because of sitting. And we have a different model. We used to think physical inactivity, sedentary, and physically active. Now we know that most people, because of technology, are sitting all day. So I think that we can do it. And in the perfect world, we're going to cater to entrepreneurs, baby boomers, soccer moms, people who want to work out to gospel music, and we have a pretty good platform to do that. One more thing, I do get some social media stats. So 75% of my clients, so 75% of the people who are following on social media are women. Men, significantly less, but I have some great male trainers that could just do the business on you. Anyway.
Right. I think you did a great job with your presentation. I heard you mention that your first 2 years have been a bit of a struggle. What are some of your, I guess, problem areas, so to speak, and what do you plan to do to get to those goals?
Right, very good question. So I think when I started, I was looking at all of the gyms, like Planet Fitness. I was like, how can I compete with Planet Fitness? It's like $10 a month. So I was really looking at the red ocean. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna kill it. We're gonna do high intensity interval training. And then I read Blue Ocean Strategies. And I was like, wow, I'm a baby boomer myself. Let's try to go after this blue ocean. So that's one of the things, especially with our Sunday gospel dance. How many people have worked out to gospel music ever in your life? Boom, one, just a handful, bam, blue ocean. And some of these people are the specific people that we need to get to. So the secondary and kind of tertiary objective for Exhale is to help eliminate health disparities. So I want to take the sister who's about 50, who's making macaroni and cheese and greens and cornbread. She can eat that at noon or right after church, but then she's going to hit it with Sunday gospel dance. So there's some innovative programming I think that we can do to try to get to the blue ocean. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, I was more so just wondering, I'm pretty sure a lot of people in here are entrepreneurs or thinking about starting a business. More so, I guess, a personal testimony in regards to what you feel like is some of the things that may be a setback, and how do you, as Miss Eleanor, feel like she's going to accomplish those goals?
So in downtown Mission, I thought I'm on Johnson Drive, I'm visible, people are just going to come by. So my setback was the area was saturated. That was one. Number two, I didn't build my bench strength early on, so I had 1 or 2 trainers that I paid a lot of money, and I built my programming around them. Now I'm really building my bench strength. So if my Sunday gospel dance person can't come because her kid has a flu, I have another person. So building my bench strength with high quality instructors is very, very important.
And using a platform like a 1 Million Cup, what do you feel like you can obtain or gain from this for as a long-term goal?
So number one, increase visibility. Number two, just sharing the vision, because sometimes when you're an entrepreneur, people really don't get you. You're like, hey, I'm this doctor, I do this stuff, it's really, really cool, let me tell you about it. And they're like, huh, what'd you do? So I think just sharing the passion that we have for wellness. And also, it's not about weight loss. My BMI has always been over the average, okay? I probably will never be a size 2. And so kind of in our country and globally, we have to get past this notion of, I go to the gym, I lose 50 pounds, and I'm good, for real. I might be depressed. My husband might have just committed suicide. So there are a lot of things when it comes to wellness that we can really educate people on with this backdrop of vigorous scientific information. And the sitting is the new smoking, there's some crazy stuff about sitting is the new smoking. Anybody? Yeah, you guys know about that. You're entrepreneurs, so anyway.
I had a couple of things, and then I'll turn it over to the rest of the audience. One quick question, for myself, maybe everybody here knows what you mean by blue ocean, but indulge me, describe it.
Blue ocean is opportunity. The red ocean is, say that we have a business, and my business is wellness. Well, the red ocean is everybody competing for the 25-year-old person who wears a size 8, who works out all the time, who may be borderline anorexic, who has a job, she can pay, she has disposable income. The same with a guy, maybe an executive who has tons of money, he can just throw at a personal trainer. And so that's the red ocean. Everybody's trying to go after them. The blue ocean is my Sunday gospel dance person. The blue ocean may be a very, very high-stressed doctor who can't make it consistently to the gym. They don't necessarily want to do personal training, but they need some type of mental break for stress reduction. So when you look at Planet Fitness, they're not saying, hey, increase your natural endorphins and you won't be depressed and you won't commit suicide. That's the blue ocean. You're not getting that message with mass marketing and big box gyms.
Okay, and then and thank you for that. The second part, and that is that how do you plan to get your message more to the folks who are in the blue ocean? Because that's your market, sounds like. That's your target that you're shooting for. How do you plan to reach them to grow your business?
So I hired a social media consultant. I actually have a SCORE mentor. Ed Reeves is here. Thank you, Ed. Boom, he crunches my numbers for me, makes me feel bad. I come home, I'm like, ugh. But anyway, so I have a social media consultant that really is giving me analytical data. And I was marketing quite broadly to all these people that I wanted to reach. And it was just like, oh my gosh. The other thing is I was only on one social media channel. I was on Facebook, and it was just like, and so I've increased my channels, word of mouth, marketing to the entrepreneurs. So I'm still challenged with that, but I have outsourced that because I was doing a lot of that myself. And I think that's empowered me because I wasn't even looking at the analytics. I didn't know what percentage of my folks that were checking out my posts were female, over the age of 55, et cetera.
All right, with that, we're going to open it up to audience questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We're going to start it off with Kyle has a question.
Great presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Lisbon,
Yes.
you're now running a gym of sorts. In an ideal world, the fitness world, the staying healthy world, and the doctor world, the getting less sick world, would work together very well. But you're in the thick of it, and you know that these two worlds don't speak to each other as well as they should. How do you bridge that gap in a meaningful way?
Well, I think number one, that's changing. You guys had a physician who was here last week or 2 weeks ago. So I think that our country, the public, is ready for alternatives. So we're at a really interesting interface of Eastern and Western medicine or philosophy. Allopathic medicine or traditional medicine has limitations. The other thing is, as our society matures, we're taking more responsibility for our own health. So if I go to the doctor and he's like, Eleanor, you have high blood pressure and you need 3 medications. Let me just start you right now. I'm gonna be like, what? Wait a minute, I'm not really sure. So there's more technology, there's more information. And I think that physicians really are coming around to the preventive kind of side of it. Because as you know, healthcare expenditure in this country and globally is through the roof. And we have to actually contain that in some way.
Got a question for you here in the center.
Hi, I was wondering, so you'd moved your business, you were in Shawnee, yes?
Downtown Mission.
Okay, downtown Mission. Oh my gosh. So, which I would think would be a perfect spot for a fitness studio, but then you moved to a co-working space, which just, can you tell us about the decision in making that, like, and why, and the benefits, and all the changes, and just why you went ahead and made that transition.
Yeah. So 2.5 years, we weren't really growing, and like I said, it was saturated. That was like the big deal. So now I'm in an area that's unsaturated or less saturated, and the co-working space actually allows us to do more events. So at our old place, we primarily just had kind of a studio, and then in the back there was room for Pilates. In this space, we're actually in the spring gonna do rooftop yoga. And I always wanted like an outside gym. Anyway, so we have more, we're more conducive to events. The other thing is if we have a small class, of 6 people, we can stay in the space that we're at. But if, say, all of a sudden, everybody just hears about this wonderful teacher and we have 30 people, we can actually go up to the old girls' gym. I think also kind of mentally, the sustainability, the co-working, and even the idea for the virtual reality is as a result of the co-working. So more event space, moving to a less saturated area, and then also moving closer to a demographic that may not have been exposed to what we have to offer, and fewer options than over in Mission.
Question on your left.
Hi, great presentation.
Thank you.
You were talking about combating sitting is the new smoking, and especially working with people who are busy and might not have time to go to the gym regularly. Do your classes and your hours kind of work for people who are, working 9 to 5, 9 to 6, who, if they can't get to a regular gym that stays open late, have the options for your classes?
So as a business person, we haven't gotten to the point of like 24/7, so we're not 24-hour fitness, okay? But we do have noon classes, so Monday through Thursday we have noon classes, and they're low impact, they're Tai Chi and bar. So just think, if you drove by a large co-working space and you had this many people out on the grass taking a break from their busy day, doing some mindfulness, and then going back. So noon, Monday through Thursday. We have 7 a.m. boot camp on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we have a couple of evening classes. We have Saturday and Sunday classes as well. So we're trying to grow, but we want to be strategic. And so we have some offerings that are a little more limited probably than 24-hour fitness, but we do have those hours.
Another question for you in the center.
Hi, I'm John. I really like your company, and I think the content that you're creating, with your methods and your background, I think that's what you're trying to do with the VR. You can create this content. Could you speak a little bit more to that? And, this VR, sometimes you get a little perspiration, right? So can you describe that content that you're creating and how you're going to expand that?
Sure, so there's going to be a lot of preparation with that. What's really interesting is there was even a guy in Germany who was gaming. There's lots of data on gaming and VR. And apparently he fell and hit a glass table and nobody was there and he kind of bled out. So it's like, oh my gosh. VR can be dangerous, okay? So the idea that we have is we've consulted with a physician who's a PMNR, physical medicine and rehabilitation. And so we take somebody who's had a mild stroke or they have some osteoarthritis of their knee, we image them with cameras, and we really look at their function before they actually start yoga or Tai Chi. Then we find kind of not a cardboard VR that he sticks his phone in, but some type of programming and some type of limited space that essentially, once he starts learning the forms in Tai Chi, we'll be able to evaluate that function every quarter. Now, where that person will do VR is a challenge, and we're gonna have to really figure that out. But once again, think about the person who's maybe 65, they are retired, they don't get out much, they love their Tai Chi class, but there was an ice storm last week. What if they could just put on their VR, master chins right there? So we have a lot of preparation, but essentially imaging, looking at function with a functional medicine doctor. Another example is we have a lady who just started our classes and she had a mild stroke. She walks with a limp. Her balance is off a little bit, but you can't really tell. She's a person we evaluate her function with physical medicine and rehabilitation, follow her, give her strategies as she goes through the classes, and get some objective data. It's gonna take a lot of planning though.
Question on your right.
Good morning, Dr.
Morning,
Lisbon.
how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
I've attended your classes and they've been really great. The Mother's Day event was really fun that one time. But I have a question about being able to connect with some of the insurance providers. Will employers be able to use your services and employees can receive discounts perhaps on their insurance or their wellness exams or assessments, their annual assessments? Talk to us about that.
Very, very good. Thank you so much. That's great. It's so nice to see you. So I would like to work with small businesses and even larger businesses and be part of the portfolio that they provide to their employees. Insurance claims, I did that. I've kind of been there, done that. So that would, once again, I would really need to prepare for that and have the infrastructure to really deal with those in a timely manner. We don't have that infrastructure right now. I think that the employer benefit is, as you know, very, very huge. And I'll give you an example. Our son works for Equinox Gym in New York. He'd never done yoga before. He went to like Rockhurst High School. He's kind of a jock. And he's like, Mom, I get to go for free. I leave work early and do yoga. So there are definitely some benefits to that. I just have to figure out what companies, what they're really looking for, and how we can kind of fit that model and build the infrastructure to deal with any type of claims that we would have to deal with. Thank you.
Question here in the center.
Hi. I just had a thought when I was looking at the banner there that it looks like a gym, like a school gym almost. And so I was wondering about the possibility of like gym class where, gym used to be fun for me and I, was presidential or whatever. And so, and you're talking about movement and those types of things. So I don't know, every day when students go to gym, they have a different program. It might be volleyball one day, dodgeball another day. Like, would you consider anything like that?
So we have considered that, and that's a great question. So there's actually a small gym in New York City, and the owner/instructors dress up as gym teachers, and they essentially do dodgeball and all kinds of fun stuff, and they make fitness fun. So at PlexPod Westport Commons, we're going to implement something called Fitness Fridays. So on Friday, when the work is done, between 1 and 3 o'clock, get some teams together, maybe an obstacle course. I also recently went to Australia, and we saw people outside doing, the ropes and and it was just really, really fun. So that's a great idea. There is a gym actually in New York that's kind of set that trend with a real gym and a real PE teacher. So we want to get creative with fitness and wellness. Thank you.
Question down front.
Good morning. Love your enthusiasm. So tell me what your projections are for 2018. How many people need to come in and pay the $15 for you to break even and make a profit? And what's your plan for growing the number of people you bring in?
So thank you for the question. To break even, I need between 12 and 15 people at $15 to $20 to break even. Per class. So we have 10 hours of programming per week. So per class, if I have 15 people in that class at $15 to $20, I'm gonna break even. That is my goal for this year. It's real simple. As far as growth, we do have a challenge with the niches that we have. I think one of the things is our space, and I'm glad that you brought up the gym class. This is the old girls' gym at Old Westport Middle School. So we just have some cool spaces, our rooftop yoga. So our events actually generate more revenue. So we can drive revenue with events. So rooftop yoga, doing some Tai Chi outside. We also are thinking about collaborating with the Kansas City, Missouri Parks and Recreation. A couple years ago, we did Tai Chi in 4 parks: Luce Park, Tower Park, Gillum Park, and one more park. Anyway, so collaborations and doing Swole Park. Swole Park was the best place to do Tai Chi early in the morning on a Saturday, ever. So some collaborations also may help us drive revenue. And creative, innovative. We don't want to do the same thing that everybody else does, so. Thank you.
All right, final question. What can we as a community do to help you?
Thank you. As I stated in my talk, you can check out our social media channels. Let us know what's working and what we can kind of improve upon. Word of mouth, I have some cards and brochures in the back. And if you are in PlexPod, you can come and visit us. And I think if you have any expertise in virtual reality, technology, imaging, cameras, Nicole? No, just kidding. That would probably be great because we really need to plan, and we're interested in collaborating with people who are like-minded, who see our vision for VR.
All right, thank you. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you very much. All right, it's time for Mug Club. If you've been to 1 million cups at least 10 times, raise your hands.
Yeah.
If you don't have a mug, keep your hand in the air. Tyler's looking. Tyler's looking. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
I saw this guy's hand first back here, so. All right, do me a favor, stand up, tell us your name, tell us why you come.
Thank you. So my name is Blade Spiza. I'm a student at the University of UMKC. I always say it wrong. University of Kansas City. I'm studying entrepreneurship and marketing. I have a minor in art. Have an interest and a passion for sculptural design and architecture. So I'm seeking to actually build modern homes and pocket communities in Kansas City. And just excited to be here, learn about what's going on, and just simply be a part. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming, man.
Also, if you haven't heard, tonight there's a special edition of 1 Million Cups to wrap up Black History Month. It starts 6 o'clock. Yes, Kyle? Starts at 6. We're going to have a presentation, an alumni panel, and a Black-owned small business fair. So we'd love to see everybody there. Please show up. Again, starts at 6. And we also have an announcement from Rebecca for Startup Weekend. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing today? My name is Rebecca. I'm a current organizer for Startup Weekend. It's led by different volunteers throughout Kansas City. So imagine in just 54 hours, teams will build and test a business idea and also pitch their business. This is a way for people to really understand entrepreneurship, about the challenges and failures, as well to build stronger communities. Currently, this is a very exciting year because Google has been able to sponsor almost all attendees to attend this year. So if you know someone that really wants to understand how to build a business, please invite them and register to attend. Additionally, we're looking for mentors. So if you cannot attend for the 54 hours, you can give back 2 hours of your time on Saturday or Sunday to better understand and help these businesses create and validate their concepts. You can look online at Techstars, startupweekend.com. It is not all tech ideas, but of course it is tech-driven. You can also connect with any organizer via LinkedIn, and as you can find me at the end of the program. So thank you.
All right, and without further ado, we're going to bring up our second presenters. Please give a warm welcome for We Are Rep.
Check, check. Y'all can hear me, right? Yeah.
Yo, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. How y'all doing? All right. Right there. Yeah.
Let's have a very warm welcome for our next presenters. We are Rap.
Sorry about that. My computer is just kind of raggedy. Yeah, so We Are Rap stands for Real and Positive. We are a hip-hop education program aiming to impact Kansas City's youth. How many of y'all like hip-hop? Everybody? All right, I need somebody to Name 2 90s hip hop artists.
What'd he say?
Biggie, Tupac, right here. We got a free CD.
All right, we got a free CD for that person.
We'll give it to you after. We'll give it to you after. We'll give it to you after. All right, some of the younger students in here, what's some of y'all favorite rappers? Mozzie. Who? Drake? Too short.
All right. All right, so let's get into this. So what is We Are Rap? We Are Rap is an education program that develops urban youth leaders via hip hop. It aims to raise the consciousness of participants by providing a structured space to produce thought-provoking and culturally relevant art. Right? They got that? Okay, there we go. So who are we? My name is Cartez Addison. People know me as Cartez Marcel. I'm a recording artist, a hip-hop entrepreneur, as Tommy Feltz dubbed me, and a community leader.
And I'm Royce Handy. I go by Sauce. I am a recording artist, a writer, and a community leader as well. And our story started, me and Cartez have a long friendship. And he was doing some work with Front Porch Alliance, Genesis Charter School with a hip hop program. And I was working with City Union Mission and various boys and girls clubs around Kansas City. And so we're already sharing ideas about hip hop programs. And with the community work that we already do, we worked with Aim for Peace, Ad Hoc Group Against Crime, KC Nova, Combat, a lot of other organizations like that using hip hop to speak out against violence and other things. And we got contacted by Damon Daniels of the Ad Hoc Group Against Crime. He wanted to sit down and come up with a way to have his students and people who come to his organization use music and hip hop and art to speak out against violence. It didn't go as planned, but me and Cartez took what we were doing separately, put it together, and now we have We Are Rap.
All right, so filling the void with hip hop. Many organizations have music programs, but what we discovered, well, I've gone into other facilities, Sauce and I, and they have studios, they have music equipment, but there's no curriculum. There's nothing to show people how to use it. So, or if they don't have the curriculum, they don't have the teachers to teach the curriculum. So we kind of, we wanted to come and put that together to make sure that not only because we have equipment, we can actually show people how to do it.
Yeah, so our target is high school age students, but we do have a simpler curriculum for middle school age students. Competition. So far, we haven't seen anybody in Kansas City who has directly what we have with presenters who have hip hop experience, except for Healthy Hip Hop H3. You guys probably know them. Roy Scott, who's actually one of our mentors. They do work with smaller children and focus on health, but they have contracted us to do work around Kansas City as well.
So we've seen impacts. We've seen that while we're teaching this, that kids are actually wanting to participate in this. Some of them come from a history and they're forced to have to be in these programs. Like we worked with TNT, for example. And I'm not sure if you guys know what Teens in Transition are, but these are youth who may have gotten in trouble and they had to come. But when they come, we discovered that, hey, they really want to be there. And this is something that they're really interested in, and it helps to keep them out of trouble, right? And also they get to learn about not just being a artist, right? So everybody can be the hip hop artist to start, but we teach them about other opportunities in the music industry, like being a producer, being a writer, being a manager. So there's so many different career opportunities that you can get into with the music industry, and that's what we show them.
Yep, so we also do self-esteem building, kind of pulling on the roots of hip hop and what it was created to do, public speaking and writing and storytelling. So what makes us different is our outreach. We work directly with local organizations such as schools, churches, community centers, also our mobility. This program is mobile. We use a professional studio to bring what we do directly to students. What that does is kind of eliminate the problems of any transportation hurdles that students, especially students East of Truth, may have. Also, it makes us expand beyond one particular community.
Our experience, so this is what qualifies us. We both performed hip hop for multiple years. We've seen and done a whole lot of things. We've traveled, we've been on the biggest stages in Kansas City, and we've also been featured in some of, like I said, some of the local outlets, media outlets, Startland News, KCUR, Pitch Magazine, Hot 103, 90.9, and more, just as individual artists. So I feel like that gives us an advantage because we're actually in the industry, right? And our curriculum. Go back, I'm sorry, I messed that up. There we go. So this is how it works. It's up to an 8-week program. We say up to 8 weeks because we can be flexible. Sometimes we don't have 8 weeks. Sometimes we have to figure out how to get this thing done in 4 days, which we've done that before. So it's flexible, workshop style class. The kids get to come in. We teach about history, literary technique, hip hop history, literary techniques, different writing forms. We teach song structure, basic music theory, and some recording techniques and performance techniques as well.
Yep, we also complete the project. We pick the beats, we write, edit, we record in front of each other, we critique each other, we complete it, and we have a finale where students can perform in a concert, release the song on music platforms, or shoot a music video, or in all instances, do all three. And here is an example of that work.
Sorry, technical difficulties. Really want y'all to see this. Help, anybody? Oh, there it is. Okay. So like he was saying, as a finale, sometimes the kids get the chance to perform. Sometimes we get the chance to make a music video. And this particular example is a music video that the kids created and the song that they wrote to it. If it works.
All right. We're going to open it up to the experts to go ahead and ask questions real quick.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
As you're going through, I had a couple of questions that I'd put down. Are you guys considered a nonprofit, or are you a for-profit business enterprise?
So we're registered now as an LLC, so for-profit at the moment, but we're still kind of exploring what the best options are for us to either be nonprofit or for-profit, because we have some other ideas as well.
Okay. And then, kind of a follow-up to that one then, who do you see paying for your services? In other words, where's your revenue stream that you're looking for?
So right now, we solely rely on the contributions of organizations that we partner with, YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, things like that. So they already have grants in place, and they contract us to be able to produce a program. But we'd like to move away from that if possible, instead of solely relying on them. This is what we're needing help with, trying to figure out ways to raise funds, because our heart's desires is to keep this free for the community. So I know grants and other things are available as well, but yes.
Okay, and if you're looking in that direction, that sounds to me like nonprofit.
That's the answer.
Yeah, nonprofit doesn't mean you don't make a salary.
Mm-hmm.
just so everybody understand. Do you have any success stories already? Have you?
Yeah, last year we did 2 pilot programs under Mayor Sly James. We did a program for teens in transition, which is put on by KC Nova. We did and it was in partnership with the Arts Tech building, and we did a music video we were trying to show you, but something's going on. And then we did another program, which Healthy Hip Hop helped us get at the Greg Kleich Center for the Mayor's Rock the Block program, our Club KC Mayor's Nights. And we did the official Rock the Block song for last year's Rock the Block. Then we got contracted with the Mid-Continent Public Library for a little bit over a year now, doing small writing sessions and performances, and they have got 2 full 8-week programs from us for this spring and summer.
Okay, and just digging just a little bit deeper into the success stories. Have there been any individuals that you guys can then go and have their testimonials or have them to help you to recruit more young people into the program, so to speak?
Yeah, various students that we've worked with, a lot of them had already knew us from music around the city. I guess we can pull back on them and see how they like the program. Like Cortez said earlier, when we went into the place, it was kind of like, the hip hop was the highlight of the students' programming. They were like, the mayor and Gene Peters Baker, they were like, this was the best thing that we've seen the students do, creating a music video, and they were very invested. They wanted to share it on Facebook. They was like, give us the YouTube, give us the file. We want to show our parents, show our families. So we think that is a success story within itself. The students actually taking a liking to the program and making it their own. The goal is to give them a voice to do what hip hop does, especially in oppressed communities, to speak out against police violence and social justice. So,
also what happens, our students sometimes follow us on social media and things like that, so I get inboxes all the time from students having questions or asking how they can perform at a certain place. We've had people that we've worked with actually come and perform on a platform that we've created. So I think that we kind of get a good response from those students as well. Video? Okay, video.
Uh-oh, this is gonna be a problem. This is the TNT Cypher. You about to hear from the future. First up, we got Lil Kira. Let them know what's up.
I don't wanna lose my period, thought I wouldn't make it, thought I would fake it. Tell I'm the greatest, I don't really think hear me one time get hard from one foot in front of another. I flip the whole worry about my sisters, my brothers. Turn around and get a whole thing to my father. I just wanna see him happy cause I really, really love him and I just learned patience. How you gotta rock with yourself, I ain't a hater, hurt they flocking but I'm flocking as well. Every time I say something, you know it gotta be real. Go out and get it, stack it up and put that box on the shelf. More of the story, get paper and feed your fam. Every time I feel lost, I flow like Peter Pan. You are not a boss, can't picture you being a man. Seems so far away, but the picture's in my hand. Visions on my goals, focus on my paper.
Well, I'm solid in the struggle. Always survive big hustle. Big dude, big muscle. Oh, father couldn't trust me. Had calls coming in, so you know I answered them. Big dude, big muscle. So you know I hit a 10.
You don't know about the struggle. 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 You don't know about the struggle.
Yeah, look, let me tell you about my life. All my life had a struggle. I come from nothing, being broke, trying to hustle. Seeing people struggling. Look back at my life, think about my family, cause I love them. No sisters, no brothers, standing on my 10. I know the boys wanna count me out. It's mandatory, I'm gon' win.
Let them know, Rick, what's up?
You don't know about the struggle. Raised in Missouri, all we know is hustle. Count big bucks, you can call him Bill Russ. Raised in the hood, they all call me Muscle. Money to the top, you can only trust a few. I'm tired of losing, how to get it how I do. All my life been counted out. People thought that I was down and out. Had to show them what the real was, so I don't be the one with my handout.
No handouts. This is the future. TNT Cypher.
You don't know about the struggle. 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 You don't know about the struggle.
What you know about the struggle? We just want to see change in our city. This is the TNT Cypher. My name is Cortez Marcel. I got my homie Sauce with me. And we are rap. You dig that? Let's go.
You don't know about the struggle. 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 You don't know about the struggle.
Hey.
Got there, yeah. That video was shot with the Teens in Transition program in their youth. Yep.
Okay, so great video, great video. First of all, I'm happy to see both of y'all up here on the stage presenting. Huh? Okay, I thought somebody was saying something. I'm excited to see y'all here on the stage. Marcel, man, I would appreciate it if you take your hair down so we won't be looking like brothers here, man. But what I would like to say, man, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both of y'all. I've had the opportunity to meet y'all years ago. I've had the opportunity to work with y'all in several different type of capacities. As a fan, what's next? What's next? What's the big goal, man? What's the big dream? What y'all doing for Kansas City?
What are we doing for Kansas City? So obviously we want to continue to partner with organizations to continue pushing the platform forward. But right now we're working with, like I said, trying to figure out other forms of getting finances so that we can keep this thing going. We've talked with H3 and we're working on technology so that we can somehow integrate this via app or whatever that looks like. I'm not sure yet. We definitely like to take the curriculum and put it in schools, teach other music teachers or hip hop artists across the globe how it's done if they need it, if they want to present it to their youth. So that's kind of what we're working on right now.
All right. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to the audience. You guys got questions? I've got one here in the center.
Hi, it's nice to see a curriculum that the kids actually want, so I think that'll be nice. My question is that, do you know how much money you need, and have you gone to any of the record companies or any of the artists who are well known and asked them to support you?
Yes, we do know how much money it takes to run a full 8-week program. We have that broken down. We haven't really gone to any record executives or anything at this point, but we've just been kind of relying on the support that we've been getting from the organizations that we partnered with so far, like the Mid-Continent Public Library and so forth.
It seems that might be a revenue stream for you, and it would support them long-term, looking for those new artists as well. And then on YouNow, are you using YouNow as a venue? It's a form of YouTube, and they there's a lot of hip hop out there that you can go and the kids vote on it, and you got different levels, and you should look into that. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Question here on your right.
Hi, my name is LaQuina. I just had a quick question to kind of piggyback off of hers. Just from a profit standpoint, what are you doing right now to gain profit, and what is your plans in the future? How are you going to scale this in order to make that profit, and what's your goal? What type of profit are you trying to make exactly?
Well, I guess the program for 8 weeks is set up to where we get a small weekly salary. We also pay for the labor that it takes to bring the equipment to the studios and the materials for the equipment to the students, and pay for the materials that the students need. So as far as profit, I don't know, like because it's not like I don't know, I guess we're selling ourselves, I don't know. But like we don't have a tangible product that we're selling and like we're buying and trying to make money off of. I'm not sure.
But it can morph into some things like that. We have talked about merchandising and different things of that nature that may help pay for this program and also help, that bottom line. So.
Got a quick question for you in the center.
Have you ever thought about hooking up with Restoration House, who works with human sex trafficking, because they go to high schools on a regular basis, and a rap song to go with that would be awesome.
We've never talked to them directly, but I absolutely always looking to partner.
Well, I'll get your contact. I'll get you their contact information and hook you up.
Yeah, we've you seen the girl on the video. She was the first person to rap. She was excited when she did her verse. All the boys are like, "Oh, we got to write our verses over. She killing us." And it's kind of funny because hip hop is very male dominated, and we wanted to make sure that we include everybody. We just got into a conversation with the Hickman Mills School District to do a middle school, I think 8th grade class of all girls who want to rap about sexual molestation, assault, being a girl growing up in Kansas City and in the world in general. So we're definitely down to talk about sex trafficking or whatever else.
Question here on your right. So what's the biggest challenge so far in the revenue stream? And what would your big ask of a room full of people who might have connections within the music industry or something like that be?
So you're saying, so basically the biggest challenge is trying to figure out the funding, staying consistent. If we had our dreams that this thing would run year round, you know, right now it's 8 weeks and then we may not have another program for another 2 months and then maybe we'll get booked for 4. So just being more consistent and once again, just helping us figure out how we can have access to funding so that we can make it that. You know, and perhaps if you do have connections in the music industry, we definitely need help with equipment. We're very limited with what we have, even though it works. But of course, we can expand if we have more equipment. We can serve more youth.
Got a couple questions in the center. I'm gonna start right here.
Yeah, hi, this sounded great. And I'm wondering, excuse me, since you have your curriculum, have you thought about creating like an online course? And maybe for that online course, people actually do pay an enrollment fee, and then you could reach like a broad audience that maybe has that income to pay, because I think there'd be so many parents who'd be so into their kids getting into that, and then you could use that income to help support your community involvement. So kind of like a Skillshare class, you know, since you have 8 weeks of curriculum, it could be really cool for people.
Yeah, we've talked about, in talking to Roy Scott of Healthy Hip Hop, we've talked about doing something like that, like an online module where students can log in, and this week we're going to learn about literary techniques and what is a metaphor and a simile. But I think that's a great idea is, you know, parents pay $20 and your student can have this for 8 weeks or something. Or yeah, school or, yeah.
Another question up front.
I definitely think marketing and selling your curriculum would be extremely beneficial. I work for Senator McCaskill, and I would love to get the opportunity to talk to you about possible grant opportunities, funding for after-school programs, that sort of thing. So I'll catch you after.
Perfect. Last question for you guys. What can we as a community do to help you?
Continue to lead us to the right direction. All right. Man, me and Cortez, we do a lot of stuff around Kansas City. We have a monthly hip hop program we do at Westport Coffee House. We're actually on a promo tour right now. We just got back from Killeen, Texas. We're doing the South by Southwest showcase next month. And all the music is good, positive, community uplifting. Hip hop, man, it's just like the roots of hip hop. So I would say also, if you see us doing anything around the city, come support, come out, buy a CD, support the kids.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out today. We had a couple awesome presenters. Don't forget tonight, our extra special event. Please, if you guys love Kansas City and the entrepreneurial community and 1 Million Cups, come out, show some love. Be here tonight at 6 o'clock for our extra special Black History Month 1 Million Cups event. Thank you. Have a good day.